Very warm welcome from our side for this lunch and learn, and for the Americas, and for the Europeans, it's probably a dinner and learn. What we would like to do with you, Marty, maybe you can go to the
Mhm.
agenda
Yeah,
and go down a little bit. Yeah, what we'd like to do is a little bit of an introduction round, and then Martin will take over and present an approach, a lean approach to design a data and AI strategy with our methodology. And we also have an interactive exercises included here. And then we do some question and answers and some feedback, and we have some comments in the end. And the whole story will take probably an hour, or maybe we will be a little bit quicker, might be also the case. So let's start with the
depends
introductions.
how quick you work and the exercise.
Yeah, depending on you, of course. Yeah. So we have some time.
Yeah.
So, Marty, maybe you can scroll down.
Yeah.
And has everybody access to the board? So the link to the board is in the chat window. And if
Mhm.
you just click on it, you should come to the Miro board we are using here, because you have an active task now. And I prepared this already. So what we would like you to do is very quickly is tell us your name. So you can just copy my example. So that's me. I'm Georg. I'm your host today, and also a managing director of Datentreiber. And then probably the most important column is the last one. What do we expect from the next hour? And my expectation is that we do some networking, and that we also do some knowledge transfer from specifically from us to you. So, and then Martin, maybe you can set a timer and just make
Yeah.
it 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
So time is running.
Yeah. So I guess all of you are familiar with Miro. Is anybody not familiar with Miro or not using it? Nobody? Okay.
It's like now it's like PowerPoint. Everybody knows it and everybody uses it. That's great.
Mhm.
Mhm. Oh, we already got someone from Miro. Great.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. If you like, you can also connect your sticky notes with those arrows. Mhm.
So another 45 seconds to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then let's briefly go over it and say, yeah, new insights, strategy ideas, ways of further developing my skill set. Yes, I think we can add to that. Happy users of the lean data. And I guess that is Martin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. New insights into AI and Miro use. Yes, definitely learn more. How to get people excited and not overwhelmed by AI. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, and I think we can address that as well. Learn more and train my skills. Yeah. Learn more about implementing AI strategies. Definitely learn more about implementing AI strategy with my team. And AI use cases for AI I can bring to my team. I'm not 100% sure if we can address this, at least not fully, but maybe a little bit. And then AI tools and applications is also very specific. We are talking more about methodology and not so much about tools, but let's see.
Hmm?
And with that, Martin, if you zoom out a little
Yeah.
again, and with that, I just hand over to you.
Yeah. Thanks. So yeah, as Georg already said, so I will present today our method and our template for designing a lean data and AI strategy. So it will be not about how to implement a data and AI strategy, but more about to come up with a data and AI strategy. And for that, we developed a Miro template. Um, and we not only developed one Miro template, and you can see it here. Let me show you up. So here you find this on Miroverse, this called Lead Data and AI Strategy workshop template. It's a Miro template for a one-day workshop. We will go into more details in a minute or so. But I'd like to also show you that there are other templates too on our Miro page, a Miroverse template page. So let me zoom in. No, sorry, it's a little bit. Performance of Miro is not so good today. For example, also I think someone asked the question how to get an easy introduction into AI. And for this specifically, I can recommend a template, or it's more like a tool or a game we developed. It's called Playing AI to Win the Business. So it's also for free, and you can use it as a warm-up or icebreaker game. And it's a gameful, playful introduction into AI strategy and also into AI use cases. Maybe we'll do another lunch and learn where we will show you this playing AI to win the business. I mean, we have, there was also the question about AI tools. We developed an AI tool which is called AI for Me. It's an AI powered advisor which gives you personal advice for what's the best AI tool you should use for your work, for your hobbies, for your sport ambitions and whatsoever. And it uses also AI. It uses Miro AI and the so-called AI flows. We will maybe also do another lunch and learn about this AI for Me template. And as you can see here, there are a lot of other canvas templates we published on Miro. They're all free. And also some workshop templates, like for example, this one, like a multi-agent system design workshop, which is more about agentic AI. But today, the focus is on the Lean Data and AI Strategy workshop, because often this is the first step you should take with your company to come up with a data and AI strategy. And by the way, sometimes I will talk just about AI strategy, sometimes I will just use the term data strategy. But I mean, you have to combine both things, because data is what drives AI. So you can't think the one without the other. You can't think about data without using AI to utilize the data, but you need data to fuel the AI. So that's why we combine this into one strategy. And let me show you. So here on the right side of this board, you see one copy of this Lean Data and AI Strategy Workshop template. I'll give you a short overview of this workshop template and how to use it. And then we will do also an exercise together where we'll use it together. As said, so it's for a one-day workshop. So unfortunately, we can't go through all the exercises on this workshop template, because we would need one day, but we just have about 40 minutes left or so. So this will be a quick one. But if you have any questions after the lunch and learn, there is a tutorial, and this is really a step-by-step tutorial. You see here, this document is describing the whole workshop approach, when you should use it, why you should use it, who should be a part of your workshop. And then there are also, for each step of the workshop, there is, and for each canvas on this workshop template, there's another step-by-step tutorial. So there is a lot of information, documents you can use and study, so you can do this workshop on your own. And also for each canvas, you will see those yellow explanations, so you better understand how to use the canvas. I will now hide those tutorial layers because so it's easier for us to understand them. Okay, does not work. Okay. I don't know what's happening here. Normally it should hide the layers. Doesn't work right now. Okay. Also, you see that there are two lanes. So here, this is the template lane. This is what we will use for the workshop or for our exercise. And on the bottom, there's also an example lane. And here you find an example which is a pre-filled canvas. So you have an example how to use the canvas. And using this example lane, I will show you how to use this Lean Data on AI strategy workshop template. So as you can see here also, there are different phases. So everything begins with the preparation of the workshop. Then we have an intro phase. We have what is called the business understanding phase. And that's how we start our workshop. So it's really important first to understand business model, business objectives, business process, business strategy, and then go into user understanding. That's the second phase. And this is all about understanding the user needs, understanding what the user is looking for. And then we go into data understanding. If you check our other workshop templates, you will see that all our workshop templates are designed this way. So we have always starting with business understanding, then user understanding, and then data understanding. Because first you have to think about, okay, why are we doing this? So what is the overall business objective? So how to create a viable business or a viable business case for data and AI. But then you also have to think about the users, because in the end, the users are the ones who are applying data and AI to create value for the business. So you have to understand the user needs. And then finally, you go into the data understanding to think about, okay, what analytical or AI tools do I need? What data sources do I need? And also what data gaps are there and how to close those data gaps, or how, for example, solve data quality issues, data privacy issues. So this is the core principle of our method called data and AI business design. It's this business user data understanding. So in the end, you come up with a viable, desired, and also feasible application of data and AI for your business. And finally, we also got an outro and then a follow-up phase. Let's go quick through it. So, I mean, preparation is often about identifying the relevant stakeholders. So, and all stakeholders should be part of the workshop. And often this is really critical for a successful data and AI design thinking workshop, that all the people that have a stake within their lean data and AI strategy are participating in this workshop. So they have a say, and they are also, I mean, often I say the whole purpose of designing a data and AI strategy is not to find the best strategy, but to find a strategy everyone accepts. Because after designing the strategy is about implementing, executing the strategy, and therefore the people, they need to be motivated to transform their company and also to change their personal behaviors, their personal work life, right? So this is really, and the main objective of such a workshop is to get people on board, to create this desire for change. And this is, if you, and the best thing to create this desire is to let people have a say, to engage people in the design of the strategy. And so the strategy acts as a guiding star, and everybody agrees, okay, that's why we want to do this. And here you can see for identifying the workshop participants, yeah.
Mhm.
We are using a canvas. It's called stakeholder analysis. And here you can see we are distinguishing between, for example, decision makers, economic buyers, or internal sponsors and end users. And here you can see we identified, for example, the CIO and the CMO as stakeholders who should take part and are willing to take part. Here, Helmut, the Hippo, by the way, the company is called Said Hippo Company. Maybe you know the acronym Hippo. Hippo stands for highest paid person opinion. So a Hippo-driven company is quite the opposite of a data-driven company. In a Hippo company, the CEO makes all the relevant decisions, and he's the highest paid person. So highest paid person opinion. And of course, this makes the company often very sad. And your job is to transform the company into a happy data-driven company. But in our case, maybe the CEO will take part. That's why it's yellow here. And then we have some For example, also some people who implement it should be part of such a workshop. And of course, also the end users, so the people who are using AI and analytics and use the data, utilize the data, should also take part in such workshops. And this is really one learning we had over the last 10 years. The workshops are so much more successful if you have really all the people from the decision maker to the end user sitting together, working together on one strategy and not separating into different workshops. So as said, so there is also a tutorial how to use the stakeholder analysis. So we'll go to the next one. You already know the next one. So for introduction, we use, for example, this three boxes canvas you already used. And then the first step of the business understanding is here we use the business model canvas. Maybe you already know it. And we will use this later on in our exercise. And there will be multiple steps we use the business model canvas for. So the first step is the business model analysis. So here you see the green sticky notes. So we will first analyze the existing business model. So everyone has the same understanding of the business model. And that's really something very important to have this alignment and shared understanding, shared consciousness of how does our business operate. And then the second step will be we'll doing a use case ideation, and this is exactly the exercise I will do with you in a few minutes. So those are those blue sticky notes, and I don't like the term use case ideation because often you don't have to ideate use cases. You don't have to come up with great ideas. Often the use cases are already there. There are users who have the case that they want to apply analytics and AI to data to solve a specific problem, to reach a specific goal. And our job is to help them to identify those use cases, or what I call often user cases. I mean, there are users who want to use AI and analytics. And this is exactly what we will do with those blue sticky notes. Then the third step is we will cluster the use cases into application domains because this will make it easier to identify similar use cases and also to identify those application domains with a high potential. Because in the next step, we will then, you see this red dot votes, we will vote on the use cases and ask the workshop participants, what do you think, how important is this use case to achieve a specific objective? In our case, or in this case of the Zhippo company, the objective was to increase revenue. And then let people vote. And what you can see later on, I will show you that there will be clusters. So for example, the marketing analytics application domain has a lot of use cases, but also sums up a lot of votes. So probably in this cluster of marketing analytics, there's a lot of potential, great potential. And that's why we will then continue with marketing analytics and then go into the next phase. And here we analyze the marketing analytics AI. So we do an assessment of what is the current state of marketing analytics and AI. So assessment means again, so we look for existing applications and existing analytics and AI capabilities. So here, for example, you see they use a lot of business reporting tools in marketing. They have a few business discovery applications that use diagnostic analytics, but they don't have any business forecasting. And then later you see those blue sticky notes here. Those are the use case ideas from the business model canvas. And all those use cases related to marketing analytics, we copied here, and then we will think about how to solve those marketing analytics use cases with business forecasting, so with predictive analytics, with prescriptive analytics, or with autonomous analytics. And then we will come up with application ideas, and those are the red sticky notes here. And then we could use this assessment and the whole canvas to do a road mapping. So in the end, for example, yeah, we want for example, dynamic attribution and bidding, so a system which automatically decides which marketing channel gets which budget and makes automatic bidding, dynamic automatic bidding for advertisings. But I mean, this is the most complex form of AI. So, but there are precursors like, okay, if we could do a simpler version with uplift modeling or multi-touch attribution, and even for those, there are simpler models like marketing mix modeling. And that's exactly how you do road mapping. You don't jump to the most complex solution because this also involves a high risk, a lot of risks, high efforts. You need a lot of time to implement it, but you come up with simpler versions and you go step by step. I often say it's better to do small steps fast than big steps slow, right? And this is exactly the idea behind this assessment, and but also this what is often called back planning. So planning from the back and then road mapping to a higher level of analytics and AI complexity. So also then we have to go a deep dive into the data understanding. So now we know, for example, as you can see here, here this are our next best use cases like marketing mix modeling or product propensity scoring. And then we design the data and AI strategy for those four applications. Here you find it, marketing mix modeling, product propensity scoring. We also, and those are our data products. Those are the products of applying analytics to data. That's the product, the outcome. We also think about how to value those data products because in the end, I mean, if we need, I think we will need a lot of money to implement this one. Someone will ask us, okay, what's the return on investment? And then we will have come up with an answer. So that's why we have this data value. And then we also have to think, okay, how does this analytical process looks like? So what data analytics modules or steps are necessary to come up with those data products? And then also we have to think about what are the data sets. So we apply this data analytics to this data sets in order to create those data products. And this is exactly how we then also define our data science and data analytics application. And we also use colors here to indicate, okay, those green elements are, for example, existing data sources. Yellow means they are existing, but we don't have any access, or there are data privacy or the data licensing issues. And also red means it's not existing yet. So that's something we have to implement. So just taking a look on the canvas, you will see how complex and how much effort or money you have to put in it. Right? And also we have to think about the technological, organizational, and personnel structure. I mean, we need infrastructure we can build on. We don't want to build it every time from scratch. So we need technological infrastructure. And here you can see we're already modeling the data flow, so modeling from left to right. And also we model the organization because there's, maybe you all know the Conway's law. So your technological architecture is a mirror of your organizational structure. So if you want to change your technological infrastructure, your architecture, you also have to adapt your organization. And maybe you also have to think about responsibilities. Okay, so here we have a lot of AI technology, and maybe that's a good thing then also to have an AI team who takes ownership of this AI technology. And then, of course, in the end, I mean, it's all about people. People are the fundament, the basis for your data and AI business. We have to think, okay, who do we need and who's working with whom together, who's formulating all the requirements. And this is the final, but I think the most important layer. And yeah, that's what we call our top framework. So technology, organization, and people. And finally, of course, then we'll also do this later on. There will be a feedback round. That's, I think, a good thing to end each workshop to get feedback, maybe to optimize the next workshop. And often there is a next workshop. And also, I think this is also very important at the end of a workshop, come up with the next best steps. So what we should work on immediately after the workshop. And for example, often what we do, we identify all the riskiest assumptions and then perform so-called riskiest assumption tests, so-called RETs. So often during a workshop, there will be a lot of questions or assumptions. We are not sure whether they are verified or falsified. So we document them in a database and then we perform experiments, research, surveys or interviews to test those riskiest assumptions. Also, maybe you could, for example, add all the use cases you identify to a use case catalog. Yeah, maybe you should create a data and AI strategy presentation. You see here some links. We also provide tools and templates for like a use case catalog or data and AI strategy presentation. Yeah, you can check later on. And also, for example, here data value driver tree, which helps you to define the business case. So there are a lot of other tools and templates. But now let's do the exercise. Are you ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, let me go there. So for this exercise, I already prepared a business model. Let me check whether I can. Um,
So I just checked the layers, and for some reason they don't work in the moment.
okay, but they're still okay. That's weird because the layers are still there. I can
Yeah,
lock and unlock it, but I can't
yeah, you
um,
cannot show
hide them.
unshow them. You
Okay, I'm
can't hide
sorry.
them
But
anymore.
let me but I can do this one at least. Maybe no. Okay, I'm sorry. We have to live with the fact that the descriptions are just overlaying the canvas. So I already prepared a business model, and my idea was that we do AI use case ideation for Miro. So we think about how AI could help Miro to become a better business. I mean, one of the first things they should do, they should fix the layer function, but probably there is no AI needed for this one. But as you can see here, I mean, you probably all know Miro. I mean, they have this Miro, they have a different additions to Miro, like Miro prototyping or this Miroverse. Their benefits are like, okay, enabling real-time collaboration across distributed teams. Um, they have certain marketing and sales channels. Those are the clients. They have different yeah or a specific kind of relationship to the customers, like they all have customer small teams as customers like Datentreiber, but they also have enterprise customers like Allianz or other big companies. And of course, for example, they have a lot of yeah, activities like platform development. Also, I mean, their brand as a resource. I mean, you probably you know Miro, and probably I mean I didn't filled out this. I just used the Miro AI, by the way, to ask a Miro AI to create a business model canvas for Miro, and you see it worked quite well. But now, but by the way, I can't recommend this. Don't do this in a workshop because it's really good practice that the people they have to think about their business model, and by thinking about their business model, they prepare their mindset, their mind for the next step. And the next step is exactly this AI use case ideation. And by thinking about the business model, they already come up with, okay, this does not sound very good when I'm talking or describing our business model. There could be some problem with our business model. So this is really the first step of preparation for a successful AI use case ideation. But in our case, to save some time, I let Miro AI prepare the business model for Miro. And so the next step will be I will be asking you to go through the Miro business model. And for all those green sticky notes, so for all the business model elements, think about what could be a potential use case for analytics and AI. And to make it easier for you, you can ask three questions. And often it depends. I mean, what I learned over the last 10 years is there are people that are very problem oriented. I mean, you can show them a business process or a business model, and they tell you all the problems with this business process. And if you identify a problem, for example, I mean, I had the problem here, problem layers don't work, right? I mean, this is a very small problem. Then write down a blue sticky note and give it the prefix problem. A problem could also be formulated in a form of a question. A question could be, for example, question, why don't more companies use Miro? Well, this could be a question Miro manager is asking, right? Then write it down as a question. Um, Also, there are people that are not problem oriented, but they are more solution oriented. I mean, they visit a lot of conferences, read some blog posts or some LinkedIn posts, and they come up with a lot of ideas what could be relevant. Like, hey guys, we need this chatbot. So write down a solution. We need a sales chatbot on our website. Whether this really solves any problem and whether people want the solution, they don't know, but they have an idea of what could be a relevant solution. And that's also a good thing. Let the people write down the solutions they know, because sometimes, often, they just learn from other companies what could be relevant for our company. And that's also an appropriate way to come up with a use case idea. I mean, we don't know yet whether it's a viable, feasible, and desired use case, but it's an idea, right? And the third way to define a use case idea or to come up with a use case idea, and often this is more what I call the executive style, is they don't know anything about the problem or doesn't have any clue about the solution, but they know what they want. They have a specific benefit in mind. So I'm asking, for example, the benefit would be increase revenue, yeah, or we want to increase customer lifetime value, or whatever, right? So that's also one way to start with a good use case. Write down the benefit you think that is helpful. Of course, if you do a use case ideation, and that's my final remark, and then let's start, is you should keep an objective in mind. So you should focus on one objective, and this objective should be discussed and defined before the workshop or at the beginning of the workshop. And here, this is a very egoistic, how to call it, yeah, objective. Our objective of this AI use case ideation will be we want to make the Miro users more happy, right? So everything, so think about problems, solutions, or benefit that could increase customer satisfaction, could make the Miro users, so you guys, you are Miro users, so I made it easy also for you, that could you make more happy because it makes your life easier, better, or whatsoever. All right? You all understand the challenge I gave you? Okay, then let's take 3 minutes and each of you write down those blue sticky notes and attach it next to the business model element that could be associated with your use case. Okay, the board is yours.
Elizabeth, did you get the link? Okay, you're on mute, but I
Yeah,
think you,
thanks.
yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
About 1 minute to go. Okay, so 10 seconds. Mhm. Okay, thanks. So if this would be a real workshop, I would go through all the use case ideas and I would really use the time to let people present their idea, also to discuss the idea. So it's really important that everyone has the same understanding. Often people come up with additional ideas. That's also a great thing. In our case, because time is very limited, will skip this. So the next step is then to cluster the use cases into application domains, because often, I mean, you could also do the voting right now and then take the next best use case with the most votes. But the problem often is that people, it's like if you go shooting, right? You shoot at your target, but often you miss the target at the first shot and then just try to do a second shot, and finally after 5 shots you got it right, yeah, right. And the same is here. So often people shoot in the right direction but they miss the target a little bit, and we don't know where. I mean, here the problem is we don't know what's the real target, so what's the best use case, the best next use case. But often if you take use cases from the same application domain and then you count all the votes for all those use cases, and then you compare the votes on the application domains, then you see, okay, everything is going into one direction. So this is like a statistical trick we apply here. So the next step is to cluster all the use cases into application domains. And then to do the voting. I will not do it here right now because this takes too much time, but I'll show you what will be the outcome of it. So here you can see we have those different blue sticky notes. One thing we can do here right now is let me copy those blue sticky notes or also sticky notes. And this is just a trick. Let's cluster by the color. So remove all the other sticky notes. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
So, and now, I got lost. What's happening here? Normally it does work. Okay, there's another Miro bug. Normally it should copy also let me try again. It should also copy the dot votes. Okay, now it's got lost. I'm sorry. Let's do it the other way.
Or maybe you can, if you select it again, and because there was an entry, says sticky notes and dotted and dots. Maybe
Mm,
that's not a bug, but a feature.
Yeah, but then it copies
Dot,
everything. Let me check.
dot vote. Isn't it the dot vote, Martin?
Yeah, but I need to copy it both.
Okay. All
Let
right.
me try this one. Um,
Mhm.
let's remove all the other things. Sorry. Um, so cluster it by color. So we do. No, same problem again. I'm sorry. It worked every time. This time it doesn't work. We have to do it the other way. So let me show you here. So now you can cluster by tag, and now you have to count the votes for marketing analytics, right? And you just maybe you help me. We have market analytics 2, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Here also 14, right? So we counted 14 votes for all those marketing analytics use cases, and then we have market research and customer insights. So let's count them. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'll skip it for supply chain and customer service. But here, this is what I mean. I mean, often it gets a much clearer result. So if you just take a look on the votes per use case, I mean, you have multiple use cases with 2 votes and one with 3 votes. But this could be also a statistical fluctuation. Just one guy just adding one sticky no, one dot vote. But here it becomes really more visible that yeah, there are much more use cases in marketing analytics, and it got much more dot votes. So people gave 14 votes on those use cases, and that's why we decided, okay, let's continue with marketing analytics. I mean, this not does not mean we have to ignore market research use cases, but that's then maybe something for the next workshop or for the next round of projects. But here, probably in marketing analytics lies a lot of more value or potential value. So that's why we continued. And that's often what you do in such a strategy workshop is you go broad in and then you're trying to narrow it down as quick as possible because strategy is about doing less better or a strategy is about focus. So yeah, that's just one tiny bit of our Lean Data and AI strategy workshop template as said. So there is a full tutorial for the whole workshop and for the canvases. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know now, or you can also, of course, contact me later or us. Mhm.
I have a quick question, so I wrote
Yeah.
it quickly on the chat. How do we make sure when obviously people are brainstorming and they are full of ideas and suggestions for solutions, how do we make sure the votes are actually we're voting for something that is solving a problem but also contributing to the overall organization and not something that is very painful but has a low impact on the organization overall, on the value on the organization or return on investment?
Yeah, so there are multiple techniques that try to lower the probability of that happening, right? So there is, I mean, it could always happen, but there are multiple things you should consider. So the first one is thinking about the stakeholders and who to invite. So, for example, if you would just invite users, they would just use come up with those ideas that just solve their personal problem but don't create any business value. But if you also invite economic buyers, decision makers, and people like that, they will probably have a different perspective. So this multi-dimensional perspective here is really important from different levels of the company, from different business units, data and AI experts, business domain experts. This is really one key thing. The second thing is, I mean, even if someone comes up with a use case idea which is very narrow and just relevant for him, I mean, the other people will also come up with ideas, and then also people have to vote on those use cases. Of course, okay, people just can vote on their use case, but what happens will then, if everyone does the same, the votes will be equally distributed, and
Mm.
hopefully there will be some. Clustering around specific use cases or application domains. And this is what you often see. You can't see it on the level of a use case, but you see it on the level of the application domain. And then the next thing is when we go to the assessment and road mapping of analytics and AI. I mean, you see here, there's, for example, we come up with a problem. What's the return on investment of social media marketing? And one solution we came up is marketing mix modeling, which is not just about social media marketing, but is a general approach to better spend marketing budgets. So often what happens is that the initial use case idea becomes sometimes bigger, or sometimes it becomes also more specific, or it becomes something else. Yeah, because people, I mean, it's like we are trying to navigate in this problem solution space, and we're not taking the linear way. Often it's like this one. Yeah. I hope that this answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yep.
And maybe to add to that, Sophia, there's obviously there's other methods for prioritization, which we don't show here because we show a kind of lean approach. But in a real world scenario, you would probably prioritize, at least in a workshop, prioritized by added value to the business on the one axis and
Yeah.
complexity of implementation on the other axis. And then you get a pretty good
Yeah.
picture of what is important, what is
A,
not.
a great remark again, because also we have a 2-day workshop. It's called Quick Win Data on AI, which is not on Miro, but in this workshop format we have an additional step, and it's called the pick method, where we compare the use cases with the same analytics maturity. Complexity versus added value to the objective, and then apply a method which is called pick method. So pick your next best use case and pick as possible implement, challenge, or kill. So here you find the template, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Mm.
Should we go to the feedback session, Georg? Or the further
Yeah,
question?
do we have some questions here? Some more. I mean, Sophia asked a very good one. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Because then we are just how many people are in the call in the moment? We are 14 still, but not everybody is on the board. They're just 8 on the board. So if you would like to click again and go to the board, and then I can bring everybody to me.
do you sharing your screen, Georg?
No, I'm not.
Okay, because my sharing is still active, no, or?
Is your sharing still active?
Oh, okay. No,
One
it's again.
Yes, yes, it is
It
active.
is. It is. Your sharing is still active. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It
great.
is. It is. Yeah.
Should we do the feedback round or?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We do. So I bring everybody to me. Everybody should see now what Martin is sharing in the moment. And what we would like you to do is 3 boxes again. The blue one is give us a little bit of feedback. What did you learn during this 1 hour session? The green one is what did you like? And the last one is what did you wish for? And let's take another 3 minutes. Mhm. Okay.
Mm. Thanks for the positive feedback. That's already great. Okay.
Okay, just another 45 seconds.
Yeah, thanks.
Everybody
Yeah,
needs to
Miro needs to
fix
fix bugs.
bugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like always.
I
True.
can't remember a session over the last 6 months without a bug. I mean, they're doing a great stuff with Miro AI and AI flows and all the things, but still layers don't work. Yeah. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah. Yeah.
At times it was a bit difficult to follow through the thread. Um, may I ask the person who wrote this to explain a little bit what is meant with this?
Yes, sure. It's just, I think it was a great level of information that was provided and that, but I think due to the some issues with Miro, it was sometimes a bit difficult to follow the thought thread. Sorry, I misspelled. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So, but of course, there are sometimes things that are outside of our control.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, more time, more time, more time, more time. Yeah, maybe we need some more time to understand other templates. Yeah, okay. So maybe we can scroll down, Martin, because we have something else to say. So we actually have a training session on our 2-day workshop, which is basically the same content, but in a more quote unquote extended version and more real life. So this is a 1-day exercise Martin just presented for those who want to be quick, and maybe also test out is it working for us? So is the methodology working for us or not? But we also have a training which you don't see in the moment because Martin is looking for something else.
Sorry, yeah, I would show the quick win template, but yeah, right. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, so you will see the same. You can look it up in Miro as well,
Yeah,
and you will basically see the same structure. So there's business understanding, user understanding. So the ideas which are coming from design thinking, and then data understanding, which is basically technical architecture, how the data product should look like in the end. And we are doing a training on this also in the US time zone. So it starts at European time in the afternoon. So in the morning at your time, East Coast, on Monday, the 19th. So you are invited to participate in that as well.
yeah. And there will also some homework. So from session to session, you can also
Yeah.
work on your data and AI strategies, and then we'll also discuss your feedback, your questions, and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, I think we are actually 2 minutes ahead.
Perfect timing, Georg. Thank you very much for moderating. Well,
Thank you for the content. And I think we close it here. If somebody has some questions, just ping us afterward. Ask them now, ping us
yeah.
afterwards.
Add us
Whatever
on
you would like to
LinkedIn,
do.
or you can also add comments to the Miro board and tag us, or just write an email to us.
Yeah.
Looking forward to your questions.
All right.
Guys, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.